Today I'm going to walk you through step by step how to get this beautiful purple look, so if you want to know how to do it, then keep on watching. Applying a primer to your eyelid before eyeshadow is very important. You never want to skip this step. I'm using the Paint Pot from MAC, but if you don't have an eye primer, just use a concealer. It works just as good. I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place Violets palette for this look, and I'm also going to be using the Profusion Prismatic Chrome Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Zen for the shimmer. We're going to start with this light purple on a small fluffy brush, but make sure that your eye primer is really smooth before applying any eyeshadow so there's no creases. But you're going to start by putting this in your crease by doing back and forth motions, and then after that just start doing little circular motions to kind of smoke it out a little bit at a time. And then we're going to just slowly start adding more and more eyeshadow until we get the brightness that we want it, still doing those circular motions and touching really lightly around the edges to really smoke it out. Once you get that blended out, now we're going to be taking this dark purple on the same small fluffy brush and just apply that right into your crease with the same motions. Just don't smoke it up as high so you don't cover all of that first purple that you applied. Remember to use really light pressure when you're trying to blend so it doesn't get patchy. The lighter the pressure, the easier it's going to blend. Now just take some concealer on the back of your hand and use a flat rounded brush for this. We're going to be cutting our crease, and you want to make sure you take your time with this so that way you can get both eyes even, but it also has that really sharp, nice and crisp edge. But we're just going to use kind of tapping motions to get the shape that we want. You want it to be above your crease a little bit, so when you're looking forward you can see all of that cut crease that you just applied, because if you don't bring it up high enough, then when you open your eyes and look straight, you're not going to be able to see it all. So don't be afraid to bring it higher if you can't see the full line. Also make sure you're using enough concealer for this, because sometimes I see people not using enough and it doesn't look solid enough and it makes it not as crisp when you put the shimmers on. Just stop before you get all the way to your outer corner, and then use your finger and just tap it out to make it nice and smooth, and also tap out that outer edge so there's no harsh line. Taking that small fluffy brush with the little bit of dark purple on it still, you're just going to tap it on that outer line from that cut crease that we just made to blend it in to that outer corner. Now I'm just going to be taking this liquid duochrome eyeshadow, and I'm going to be applying that on top of that concealer in all that empty space and making sure that I'm getting super close to that edge to make it nice and crisp. If you don't have a liquid eyeshadow or anything like that, you could use regular eyeshadow for this. Just use a shimmer that's really light, and you can just pack that on with that round brush that you use to put the concealer on, and you can do the same thing. But once I get this liquid eyeshadow on there, I'm just going to make sure it's nice and solid and even and has a really straight line. And then I'm going to take my finger and just tap out that edge to blend it into that purple a little bit. Next, with that small fluffy brush again, I'm just going to be taking that pinkish shimmer color, and I'm going to be applying that towards the middle of my eyelid in that cut crease area where the liquid eyeshadow is. And I'm just going to slightly bring it towards the inner corner, but also slightly bring it towards that outer corner and blend it into that darker purple as well. For the lower lash line, take a small fluffy brush, and we're going to start with that light purple, and we're just going to go almost to the inner corner but not quite, leave a little space, and then on that same brush take a little bit of that dark purple and blend that on top of that light purple, once again almost to the inner corner but not quite. Now I'm using an actual purple highlighter for this, but you can just use a regular eyeshadow that is shimmery and light purple on a small brush. We're just going to apply that to the corner and then slowly blend it into those top eyeshadows a little bit, and then also fill in that little space in the corner on the bottom lash line that we left empty, and just kind of blend it into those bottom eyeshadows. I'm also going to be taking a little bit of that right under my eyebrow as a highlight. Now just take a black eyeliner pencil, hopefully one better than mine, and just fill in your bottom waterline and then also tightline with it. Finally, just add some mascara and lashes and it'll be done. This is the finished look. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll answer the best that I can. If you can like and share, it's greatly appreciated, and I will see you guys next time.